me tell you about Legend Seeker and how you can support its development while getting some awesome perks. By subscribing to our Legendary tier on YouTube or becoming a paid member on our Discord or Patreon, you'll get early access to all Legend Seeker lore and mechanics. This means you'll be among the first to dive into the world of Legend Seeker and give direct feedback that will help shape the game. But that's not all. Supporters will also be the first to playtest the system and will get exclusive invites to private streams where we discuss the game in detail. Your input will play a huge role in making Legend Seeker the best that it can be. Now, for those of you who love watching our tabletop role-playing game shows, supporting Legend Seeker comes with some fun bonuses for the casts. Here's how it works. If you are a Copper or Common member on Discord or Patreon, you can give a $20 benefit to a player of your choice. Silver and Uncommon members can give 2 benefits to 2 players of your choice. If you go the YouTube route, you can give a $50 benefit to a player of your choice. And for the ultimate support, Gold and Mythic members on Discord and Patreon give a $20 benefit to 3 players of your choice. You can choose from all casts across Moonskull. Every bit of support goes directly towards making Legend Seeker a reality. It helps fund the art, writing, editing, and eventual publishing of the game. So, if you want to be a part of this journey and support our shows, join our Legendary tier on YouTube or become a member on Discord or Patreon. We couldn't do it without you, and we're excited to build Legend Seeker together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Froste. I'm Frost, and yeah, I'm wearing a shirt that's not gray or black like normal. There, I got stung by a wasp in the back through my other shirt, so I changed it out, and I was like, well, you know, I'll just throw on another shirt, and I grabbed this shirt, and it happens to be a light colored shirt. It's blue. Hell, it's blue shirt. It's got some weird light to it, though. Yeah, I don't know. Almost looks like cornflower, but to me, it looks like pale blue. Whatever. Lighting's gonna light. So there we go. And unlike most people on the internet, I'm actually wearing pants and everything. Though, since I was just doing stuff, I'm gonna take off my boots here quickly. Come on. Because I'm going to be uncomfortable if I have those on the whole time. All right, here we go. See? Shoes. I wear shoes. But I'm sneaky. Look, they have zip tie, or not zip ties, but they have ties up the front. But I buy these cool boots that have a tactical zipper on the side and a Velcro. Like 511 tactical or something like that. So much easier to get on and off, especially in winter. So there you go. I'm dressed like a human today, not like a content creator. Maybe. Yeah, it kind of looks purple, doesn't it? Though, strangely enough, I mean, if you see the back here, this is what the real color is. The way the light is hitting me in the front is part of the green screen effect. I think it's stealing some of the color out of it. Yeah, the shadows are definitely different. This side over here, that's normal. That's the normal color. Anyway, there you go. Fashion with Frost. I can almost snap my fingers. All right. Today I am working on notes in the factions and peoples for some of the sub ancestries, the racial groups, the ancestral groups, whatever you want to call them, divisions amongst the main races, because there are a number of them. It's not just an elf. You have a lot of different types of elves. You got your good elves. You got your bad elves. Okay, there's only one group of bad elves. So I have written just a little blurb on the sun elves, the moon elves, and the wood elves, and I'm working on the blurb for the dark elves at the moment. Velcro boots. I saw that video too, Corey. It was that was very cool. That was very cool. The unmatched. All right, there we go. Darkly mirrored versions of their former selves, dark elves tend to be dark, dusky with bleached hair, dark eyes, almost glowing with unnatural intensity because, well, they're solarized or posterized or strangely altered versions of themselves. Purple. Purple, yeah, it looks very purple. Though, like I was saying, the part back here, this is what the color of the shirt's actually like. So there you go. My beard looks kind of purple. Yeah, it everything reflects everything. It's pretty amazing. Because when you use the green screen, you have to change the chroma key. You have to key color spill. So I'm gonna amuse you here. Watch. If I start taking more of the green out, I turn pitch black here. I'm just going black and white. So you have to play around with the color correction and the hue shift and everything. So I can, I can take things like crazy directions. I can put them all over the place. Somewhere in here is more like what the actual color of the shirt is, but then I look a little strange because of the light. So whatever. It's fun. Fun with green screen and lighting. And also the temperature of the lights I'm using. Oh, which reminds me, I gotta put this thing back in. I don't know, now that I moved my computer, if I can actually fit this back up on the light to fix it. I'll do that later. Because my lights come with these little control panels, but they have a magnetic back and a slot on the back of the light they go into, so they click in and they charge up because they have a battery. And I have to reach the thing, but it's almost 4.5 feet away. And I have long arms, but I'd be slamming my face and all the other parts of my lower anatomy into the microphone and the camera, and nobody wants that. So let's just leave that uncharged for now. The white hair has no pigment. Ah, you're okay with the purple shirt since it's the color I usually wear for LSU. Nice. Oh yeah, please no. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. We're going to stay PG here. Thinking about how I want to handle entry. I think I'm going to wait to write more about that part of the Dark Elves anatomy and whatnot, their physiology. Think about that for a minute. Because I have covered this before, but I'm trying to put something down in here just in factions and people about kind of what they do. So driven by their madness, hatred for their former most dark elves spend their lives plotting the downfall of Solidor. Not all of them. There are some dark elves that are just like, yeah, we hate them. What of it? I can hate them and still go on with my life. But most of them are quite mad and want to kill their old comrades. No old man lap dance. Yeah, what did I walk into? Bean dip all over my teeth. Ew. Bean dip. I had a meatloaf sandwich for lunch. It was really good. It was quite good. A little bit of hot sauce on top of it. Okay, so the Sun Elves, the elves that inhabit Solinor and rarely leave. Yeah, the elves that inhabit Solinor rarely leave are colloquially referred to as Sun Elves by outsiders. Most have a deep love of a tranquil, contemplative life under the sun, and as a result have more bronze skin than their moon and wood elven brethren, the original stewards of the Goldvale Wood. That's this wood up here, where the High Kell is. The High King has always been a sun elf. Moon elves were the great practitioners of magic amongst the elves. This caste travels widely and have closer ties to Orn and Oriel than most. They tend to be fairer of skin and slight of build, though no less striking than any other elf. The Wood Elves are the defenders of Goldvale. Wood Elves tend to live on the fringes of their lands and often range and patrol far outside their borders in pursuit of. Let's see. The group of elves tends life of adventurer. This group of elves tends to pursue the life and adventure more than those of the other. A cast. Let's see a better word. Got turned off. There we go. Adventures you don't usually eat with him. So my dad's ever since he was like 19 has had a denture plate for the front of his teeth because when he was in the army he got them. He still never really told me exactly how it happened, but he got all of his front teeth, all the side and the front, smashed out. And so they fitted him with this dental plate thing that goes in that gives him his teeth, and he's always had that. And so he would just at the weirdest times at parties and stuff just be like, "Oh man, I think you hit me pretty hard," and then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh no," and takes out the little plate with the teeth, and people are like, "Oh my god." But he absolutely has always hated having to clean them. So I get you there. He was always complaining about it. At least when I was younger. Because I think he thought it was fun to shock us. Hmm. Lineage. Lineage right now. use the word All right. Yep. That's my dad, man of mystery. The older he gets, the more he looks like Clint Eastwood. With the eyes and the. But he also looks like he's a cross between that and Crocodile Dundee. Because half the time he's wearing like some kind of a vest and a weird leather hat and stuff when he's working out on the farm. I mean, he used to. He hasn't done either of those too much for years. Mostly he's just wearing a t-shirt and jeans and stuff or tank tops. But he's now in his 80s. So I think he's out of his Crocodile Dundee phase. His son still squirms with him at 25. And a former co-worker was talking one day and her denture fell out. Oh no! That's gotta suck. That note. There's okay, good. I'm getting notes everywhere. Right. So, instead of using cast, I'm using lineage right now. We'll see. Maybe that will work with what Erudai has planned. Find out. While I'm thinking over this thought, that little feral cat, Calico April, I had let her in the basement so she could wander around, and she was just having such a great time digging in things and going in bags and whatever she could find to mess around with. And she got up on my workbench and was wandering around the windows, knocked my battery charger over for a just little AA battery charger, and just stared at it as it fell. Then went over onto my bookshelf, or not my bookshelf, my workbench, and was moving around on top of that too, hitting the keyboard on the computer that's over there. And then he stepped on the piece of paper that was instructions for my weed cutter, and I had gotten new blades and stuff for it. And she knocked everything over because she stepped on the edge of the thing, and they all went flying. And so the wrenches and all the blades were all wrapped in cardboard and stuff, were all clanging and falling everywhere. And she was like, ah, for a whole 5 seconds, she's like scared. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to find her for a while. And then literally 5 seconds later, she's next to me, bumping up against my ankles, like, so what's going on over here? I know you did it. I know you're a cat and you think you're really clever, but I didn't forget that you literally just did it. I haven't even picked it all up yet. Okay. All right, so I've got some basic entries here because according to Arugai, some of the stat differences, I don't remember. Before I reveal anything here, Chrysant, was part of the stuff in the Legend Seeker announcements that everyone can see, are the racial stats mentioned? I guess I could go over there and look. I can't remember. I'm not going to really go through and talk about them all, but right now I have 4 different types of elves to write a little thing up for that I'm just putting notes in, and also half elves. The full entry. Oh, okay, good. Grandpa Frost has some Gran Torino feeling too. Just get off my lawn. Okay, good. So yeah, we've got the sun elves, which are more intelligent, have a lower constitution. The moon elves, which have higher wisdom and less strength. The wood elves have more dexterity, a little less constitution, and the dark elves have more dexterity and a little less wisdom because they're sort of obsessed. And the half elves have more charisma and a bonus to another ability that's not charisma, and a lower con. So being a half elf seems like a good deal. Because they technically right now have more bonuses to their stats than a human does. So I meant to mention that one to Erudai. It seemed like it was the half elves and the half orcs kind of, unless there's some other things approaching him right now, seem pretty powerful. Got a message. Okay. Family group chat. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. And by family group chat, I mean my 4 brothers are chatting. And it's great because everybody has different kinds of phones. So sometimes the group chats, I'll get a group chat, but then I'll get individual messages from them and I have to hit download and then it will add them to the group chat because people are using different types of phones. Amazing. I didn't do anything with all the races, just the Soul Forge. Good time to sign up and take a peek, chat. Yes. Just one race? Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different races here, and I won't go into any more of them. But I'm writing up some stuff here, which is one of the benefits of you guys getting to come here. It's little sneak peeks on stuff. Little bits. Where are the dwarves? All right, so we're going to go in here. And we are going to put down the 3 groups. And there we go. Entry onto these 3. Oh. Goes my ping. Oh, got a letter in there. What are we doing today? Or is this a... Should probably differentiate those sounds a little more. They're very similar. I get a message in a group chat, and the cats make noises out at the cameras. What are you out there? All right. Fantastic. Camera. You're the best. Okay. A mountain. Let's see. Next time on Adventures of Ruidized Carrier Pigeon Crescent. Nice. Did you like the little GIF I put in there of Bert doing the pigeon? That song to this day lives in my head from Sesame Street back in the day when he's singing the, doing the wah wah pigeon, and he's doing the pigeon dance because, well, he loves pigeons. Perfect. Wow. Wow. Why would that elf do that? Why? Traveled and hardy. Oh. Welcomed in post. I have no idea what my brother even means there. Okay. It was a political thing. Got it. I see what he means. He just didn't use all the words that I would have expected to hear in a sentence. Okay, I figured it out. We'll see what punishment she got today. Frost joined a dating app for people his age called Carbon Dating. A girl on Tinder asked me why I had an unlit cigarette in my pic. I told her I was looking for a match. Wow. So that happened. Horrible. I knew what you meant, Shadow Order. I got it. If I could figure out what my brother said, I got it. Let's see. Other lineages, they put great stock in family trees and bloodline. And dating. What? What? And again. Hello, this eccentric. How is it going over there in Kick? We got some puns going on over here in the the YouTube chat. So you're missing those or not missing them. Maybe both, depending on who you are. Maybe both. All right. So I have to say anything else about these. Let's. Do I? Do here on the Sun Elves. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that in there. I'm gonna leave that out because I think that's something that we'll figure out later. Not gonna add that note. All right, we got that. We got that. We got that. Yeah, I think since he's got all these different stats for things, I'm gonna see. Maybe we'll end up doing something interesting with the groups that are distinct in Erudia, sorry. Namely, like, Ryland as opposed to the people of Agrim. Maybe they have like a bent towards different skill sets or something. See if we can find some other kind of interesting bit of flavor there. All right, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versions of these things. Folk. Can I have one? Okay. Back into here. Yeah, we'll go for this one. Okay. Make an entry for mums. We're working on this. All right. Have an entry. A couple of these for this. Parentheses. There we go. That would make a lot more sense in the sentence. All right. Great and varied mum race includes many lineage types, all collectively referred to as mums, mainly for their method or lack thereof. We won't say lack thereof. Of communication. So we'll say, depending on the lineage and the profession, dress much the same as most folk would. So, depending on the lineage and profession, they dress much the same as most humans or small folk would, though their clothing is often crafted in unusual styles, such as tunics made of spider silk or boots made from supple bark and leaves, because there are a lot of different types of mums. I think they're going to be a heck of a lot of fun to play in this. I really want to make a mum character because of the 8 types of them, they're just so much fun. I like them. As much as I like making humans and stuff in this setting, I have actually wanted to make a mum character, and I've actually wanted to make a soul forged, which I think could be pretty entertaining. But for the first time in one of these things, I thought it'd be interesting to make an actual, since given everything that's going on in Erudia, it'd be very interesting to play a dark elf. So this is getting me interested in playing some races that aren't human, because most of the time I like playing humans. Now, dark elf would be challenging because there are some messed up individuals, and it would have to be run very well to be pulled off nicely. It'd be fun. Video was weird when driving. It didn't bother to fix it. Did I miss anything? I mean, I've been writing on the different lineages of groups, so different dwarves and whatnot, and I'm working on the entries for the mums now. And yeah, I'm trying to think of other ways we could make their style of dress and what unusual. Because I think when I wrote up the Soul Forged cleric or druid, um, she has a cape made from spider silk and spider webs. It's hung with like natural glittering crystals. She has a crown of undying blood red flowers that encircles her head, and she carries a staff of polished gray wood, gift from the god Arendor. But I think it's cool. I said it's cape of spider webs. I'm wondering if it should be like a whole tunic and toga thing. It's just interesting to think of this stone creature that has a human soul inside it, but she's draped in like this almost ethereal gown or robe or a toga over her form made of spider webs and crystals with a crown of blood red flowers. I think it'd just be fun, especially since she's a crazy powerful druid. Did quite like what has been publicly posted on the mums. I told Rudai how impressive it was that he took a meme race and made it legitimate. Really legitimate. Yeah. Because with all of the subgroups, the lineages, the different things, there's quite a varying set of powers and skills you could have just for flavor and fun that you could have for your at your disposal for just making one of them. So I think they'll be entertaining. I like them. I'm liking the art that is being made for the latest character that we've been seeing when we're giving him feedback on it. I think it will be cool. Mm. Healthy, supple, treated bark and leaf. There we go. Traditions. Now, I thought a bunch. I read a bunch more of this stuff again. I was trying to think of some traditions, and I wanted to think of things that were all the way across all the mums. So that's something I'm still giving some thought to because there are a bunch of unifying, I guess, characteristics. We'll go with characteristics, but they do have quite a set of variations. So, yeah, I'm thinking about that. Thinking about that. Mums as such have no nation or lands of their own, whether they adapt and live wherever the world will have them. Villages does not have a K in it, Frost. No, that. Villages. Villages doesn't work. What would they call these? Mums will defend these. Not really habitations, not really villages. I mean, they could be. Mums will defend these camps and villages to a point where faces overwhelming odds. They wisely flee and regroup to build elsewhere. And I'm kind of trying to make them feel while I'm writing this out of like wildflowers and plants and things of Arendor's nature. You know, they were created by, you know, crazy magic. Wildflowers and things, you can't easily wipe them out. You can't wipe out like walnut trees. You can't wipe out these things because somewhere a squirrel has taken a walnut and buried it, and you're going to have another walnut tree. And you won't notice it at first, and suddenly you've got a tall walnut tree, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? Mums are more like that, where they'll have a village. If something attacks them and tries to take them out, they'll fight to a point and they'll flee. Disperse. They'll regroup and they'll regrow. It may go into 2 villages or 3 or whatever. They'll just disperse, they'll rebuild, they'll come back. And that's kind of like the whole way of, you know, with Arendor stuff, nature finds a way, nature, you know, cracks the stone, it breaks everything, no matter what people have built, nature's going to take over, and their nature. So they just, like, yeah, you burned us down, but that just made the soil richer, so now we can go do something else, then we'll come back and we'll be fine. Now, we'll type that properly. Some mums do have an affinity or call to explore, and while this wanderlust often takes them to new lands. I do need to look up one thing though about the mummity mum. Um, yep. Okay. So select, delete. Ooh. Mhm. Ooh. Could be better. How about you? What do you mean? I thought dark elves were innocent and angelic. Right, innocent and angelic. Wait a second. Ah, common scent and mum scent. Very fun. Yeah, the dark elves are really bad. I mean, they are a mirror image of, the sun elves and moon elves that went to go do what they were doing because of the magic. It basically, um, inverted mirror universe eviled them. So they're not good. Not good beings. But like anything else, you can have a very evil being who's like, I'm totally self-serving, but for the time being, our interests are aligned. So let's go do that thing. And I promise not to do anything, very what people would call like unlawful evil. Like we made a pact, and there's no way in hell I'm going back on it because, boom, my word is my bond. Even though I'm an evil bastard, it's a contract. Sounds like you'd fit into Dark Elf Society very well. um, yeah, I hate that monsters are fine in current TTRPG. So yeah, I mean, you would have to be so careful in playing something like that because they're bad. They're not good. But somebody will want to try it. But I think if the dungeon master, lore keeper, legend keeper, whatever you want to call them, is doing their job in this system, and especially in the Godlands, if you show your face as a dark elf, you're gonna have knives pulled on you. So it's not gonna be, yeah, okay, you may be a tentacle-headed monster, but yeah, you're with that guy, you're okay. Really? Okay. All right, we got a demon, a bird lady, whatever the hell you are, and this evil dark elf who wants to burn down society. But you've got a human with you, so come on into the inn. It's okay. We learned to give our prejudices up a long time ago. Right. I don't think so. I had a guy when I ran a game in a campaign. He made a dude that was really tall. He wanted him to be super tall for a human. I said, all right, that could, have some issues for you. He's like, no, that's going to be kind of fun. I want to play something different because he normally played like halflings and stuff. We had a guy who's like getting close to 7 feet tall, big brooding dude with kind of almost a unibrow. And when he started going into some towns that were not on the frontier, people were all like, what the hell is that? Like, Bug. His name was Bug. I don't know why I called him Bug. Like, he's gonna have to sleep outside. We're not letting giants in the town. No, he's not a giant. He's just a man. They're like, uh-huh. And they didn't like giants and ogres and all that stuff. They just assumed somebody somewhere had had a half ogre, half giant kid. And so half of those towns, they wouldn't even let him come through the gates. They're like, we're not letting that thing in. And he loved it. He had so much fun with it. He's like, I didn't expect that, but it's so much fun. Like, well, you're not going to get to go into a lot of these places. He's like, yeah, but I can amuse myself with other stuff. That's the good thing. He's like, and he would have to give them money. He's like, okay, so you get me 2 chickens and get me one of these, and I need a new belt. So here's the money. I'm trusting you. And they come back with like mostly the right stuff. And he's like, I'll take what I get. So yeah, we had some fun stories with him. Frost is telling us about the bees. What about the birds? Yeah, he played a pretty good character. He had a lot of fun. Bug ended up getting killed by, ironically, an ogre. Which, the fun thing was, though, when he died, he was helping a town who didn't like the ogres fight the ogres, and they tried their best to help him, but he didn't make it through the fight. It was Roll Master, so you could die really easily in that game. And the thing got an open-ended critical and took him out. But they felt horrible, and they actually buried him in their cairns out there. And there's still people that talked about him. And when they came back to a later campaign that took place 30 years? I'm trying to remember if it was 30. It was something like that. It was like a whole generation, later. There was an inn there. It was called Bug's Bed, and it was a big giant who was stepping on bugs next to like a bug. They said, the cleanest inn in Saltmarsh, and it was basically the people that he'd saved. They had his place, him as a giant. They had him on the sign, and he was so excited when he saw. He's like, oh my god, they remember Bug. Like, of course you did. You saved them from the ogres from destroying that part of the town. And so he had a piece in the lore there. He was very happy about that. And then that character he was playing in that later campaign got killed by dogs. Because he did some stupid stuff. Don't underestimate the wild dogs. All right, let's see. Anyway. Hello, Alaska Jeff. How's it going? Tell you all about the bees and the birds, Vijay. All of them. Hey, have you cooked in your office recently, Vijay? All right. So, do I want to put anything else about the points of contention? So I said some mums do have an affinity or a call to explore. While this wanderlust often takes them to new lands, it just as often pulls them back to the place they originated, the jungle of Zanatha. Because, as you know, if you've been playing along at home, or the temples, or the great temples and all the clans that live around there, the barbarian clans, very super dangerous place with cool ties to the Umbra Atoll over here. Been there for all of 2 hours. 2 hours, so they keep taking you out everywhere, huh? My DM would play out anti-tiefling discrimination. It was fun to play as one than getting thrown in prison for trumped up charges. Yeah, in a couple of the campaigns that I ran, when people were like, I'm going to be a tiefling. I'm going to be a tiefling too. I'm going to be this. I'm like, all right, I'm warning you guys that these people in these farming towns and other places you're going to go to are not the big cities where there may be some people who are like, oh, they're tieflings, they're okay. These people are going to look at you and say, demon! Like, why would they do that? Like, because you look literally like a freaking demon? You have freaking horns in your head and tails. Not normal. You're like, oh yeah, but they should be, more calm and reasoned about it. I said, why? It's a halfling and human farming village. Why do you expect them to be totally good with that? And they're like, blah, 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 blah. We went there, we played it, and one of them ended up taking a character because she was just like, I just can't, I can't handle the hate anymore. I said, I told you these people are not a fan. It's like, I just don't understand why people don't like them. Demon, 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 demon. You saw a dude dressed like a demon walking down the street. You got two things to think about it. He's playing something in a play or something, or going to a convention, or he's part demon. In their version of the world, they don't have dress up play time. So you're probably a demon. She's like, oh, yeah, I suppose, thinking about it like that way. Yeah, I guess I'm putting a little bit too modern sensibility on it. I said, yep. So she went on to play a halfling. Imagine that. Let's see. Working but good. Good. Working on a project. Hoping to finish some of them soon. Nice. I don't always whoop. When I do, there it is. Wow. I don't know if Arudai ever mentioned how big mum communities are. Are there 20, 30, or more? Oh, you mean in each? Here they created the world's strongest suction cup. Not sure they'll pull that off. Sorry, I'm hurt. I'm dying. All right. I'm looking here to see if he wrote about how big their gifts with the season, leadership is mantle, pass like petals in the wind. All right, 10. Yeah, the corrupted subtypes also fun. Yeah, he doesn't really talk about it, but I mean, I have them pretty much as small groups. And I'm just trying to see. Harmony. Right. Mums are comfortable with all sorts of magic, though they tend to avoid necromancy and blood magic as a rule, unless they are corrupted. Or I was just seeing that my kitty cats were making noise up there because that's what they like to do. Moms seek harmony, and this can often lead them into conflict with expansionist or forward-thinking goals. Are okay. Looking to interrupt or damage the natural order. The corrupted ones are creepy. Yeah, yeah. If you want to see these things, I mean, seriously, um, I most of the time in games when I see different races and things, I just don't care. I literally am like, yeah, I'll just play a human because most of them are just bland and boring and whatever. This stuff makes me want to play these these races and classes and groups. Um, what is the camera seeing? My camera keeps saying it's seeing something. There's literally nothing there. Oh, it's April. She just keeps running in front of the. Oh, she's chasing moths again. Not even moth time. What is she chasing? She's just a dork. She's getting so much more active though, and getting more, a little more plump on her little bones, which is good. But anyway, yeah, I've wanted to play them. So if you want to see that stuff, you go become a member. Even I think it's available to everybody over on Patreon. I think actually you can also. I think there's a 7-day thing still, the free trial on there. Staff read supremacy. I wonder why you like them. It's like making difficult terrain. I know it. And I have to say, I do like the other thing that I'm enjoying, and I'm not going to explain all of it to everybody. When he has put an adjective for the age categories, I like it. That's a little bit of flavor I enjoy. Or I guess I mean it's a noun. Yeah, but still. And I've kind of already got a thorn skin guy sort of prototype for being one of the legendary characters. Um, I do like where is it here? The mind creepers. Little creepy. And they're not evil, but they're creepy and kind of fun. Makes me think of something out of Subnautica. Is a nice touch, yep. No idea why that one stuck out to you. Well, they have something else too. What was the other thing about the Safried? They have the difficult terrain. Oh, they're the dexterous ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. He's teasing. Woo! You've all been teased. Go to the Patreon. Bam. Okay, I think that wording's better. Blossom Weavers. Are they the ones that mess with people's insight? Is it? I'm trying to remember now. The Blossom Weavers. Yeah, this is the poison. Yes, 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 yes. Blowing people. Yep, yep, yep. The what was the rose locks? Those are kind of fun. I just think of like a Toreador vampire. I think of the rose locks. They're so pretty. Don't you think they're pretty? They're pretty. Aren't they pretty? They smell so good. Just not thinking clearly around them. In case anyone wondered what kind of player I'm discovering I am. Teasing to your brain. Hey, it's teasing. Beep. Chrysanth just wants to control the battlefield. That's all there is. That's all it is. Nothing more than that. All right. Here. Do I need to add anything else to this section? I think one of the things that he mentioned here. Okay. If I'm going to put down excellent. We'll use ether. All right, mums follow the simple ethos of the cycle of growth, where things are balanced, things change, and things return from whence they came. A constant cycle of making and unmaking that they contribute to. Out of balancing. All right. Daybreak's playstyle was a Rudi's idea after he saw what I was doing in his private game. Was your idea then? Would you use knockback on Eldritch Blast to knock everyone out towers into lava instead of just doing damage? Rudi's idea after you saw what you did in the game? Pretty much. It's all about the pushback. We've had a couple campaigns where people were playing like sorcerers and warlocks and eldritch this and that, and it's just everybody had Eldritch Blast, and almost everybody that was doing Eldritch Blast had knockback on it, which pissed the melee classes off so much because the guys doing it tended to keep knocking every enemy out of range of all the melee guys because they weren't paying attention to who was going next. They're like, I'm gonna knock him back. They knock him back, and then the martial guy's like, thanks. Trudge, 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 trudge. I'm using up all my movement to get to the guy. Oh, look, I can't get to him now. I'll stand here useless for a round. Then they would be almost there, and the guy would, I'm gonna knock him back over here. Like, could you at least knock him off a cliff? Which is better because then they're falling and taking damage or into something damaging. They were just kept moving away from them. They weren't playing around to try and knock him into the group of melee fighters trying to do stuff. They were just knocking him everywhere. And people kept complaining. They're like, that's just what my character does. Like, wow. So yeah, it was frustrating. Yeah, exactly. Because you're a team player. I mean, it's kind of fun to have a person who's like, no, I'm just being an ass. I don't care about you guys. But I can get the brute killed, so. It's not a good thing. I got a mosquito bite on my earlobe. Don't like that. I think I killed like 4 guys by knocking them off a tower, and I got a DM from Rudai saying, stop one-shotting my army! Tell him to stop putting the army on a cliff or a tower. There you go. That's all he has to do. All right. Funny, because tonight we're going to hopefully be finishing our fight on a cliff where one of our players, we won't say which guy it is, it's not this eccentric, but he'll know what I'm talking about, played a card that made the fight even harder, so we get another card. The unfortunate part is we were climbing up a cliff, and then we climbed up the cliff to face all the enemies who knew we were coming, and we set off the traps that spawned a whole bunch of anti-magic circles that lasted for a couple of rounds. So all of our casters are like, that's a long drop. That's a lot of enemies. And trying to get out of these little circles of death. It's been an interesting time. That's just what my character would do, equals only fun for them. Yeah, often. Yeah. Do you take a drink? I remember that flavor, wild, how they are different in glass and plastic. Yeah. And this is the kind they make with just sugar. It has just what is it? Water, raw cane sugar, caramel sugar, or not sugar, but caramel color, and natural flavors and caffeine. So really simplistic. I think this is the stuff made in Mexico. Okay. I think I've covered that much of the mums. I haven't put any specific things about their subtypes here. DM officially came up on trying to kill my Blade Singer with 1 level Barbarian and Amulet of Health. Hey, I'm going to be honest. I don't understand that. I don't understand the mentality of trying to kill somebody's character. I just try to challenge them so they have fun. Sometimes that means they get into situations where it's very dangerous, but I just want them to have a fun challenge. if it comes down to the point where the players are making characters to thwart the DM, or the DM is making enemies to try and kill the characters, I'm like, oh dear, we've wandered into a different type of game here, a very different philosophy. There's always going to be a player who wants to make the character who cannot be touched. And it's the challenge and the responsibility of the dungeon master to help fulfill that itch to be like vulnerable to many things, but find a weakness that's fun, or find a vulnerability that makes it entertaining without taking away the head of steam. Now, if a player just wants to be immune to all damage and all effects and never have to worry about anything, then there needs to be a little more discussion between the player and the DM at that point, because that's just not fun. You gotta have holes, chinks in your armor. Even Achilles had one. It makes it more fun. Godwin can't cook. Kidding. Godwin can hit a lot, but he doesn't do a lot of damage because he's more concerned with hitting and setting everything up for other people. He does kill things occasionally, but he's more about trying to control some of our enemies to set them up for Marashi and Oliver and Daryl and Daybreak to kind of deal with them. That's why I had him jump right in the middle of all those guys last time. I'm like, well, this may be stupid, but this makes a lot of sense, because then I'm the closest. Godwin is the target. So if they move away, it's going to be a bad idea for them. But I think I can take enough hits before they take him out. Unfortunately, Daryl missed. And I think one of them soaked some of the other stuff. I'm like, well, turned out all right. It turned out all right. Godwin's also not very smart. He has lost his intelligence. He's frustrated by it, but he's trying to figure it out. He'll figure it out someday. Daybreak is terrified of everything, and that's what's fun, is you can still be terrified of everything and still be effective, and still do stuff, but still you can run around and be like, nope, but still go like, pachoo, throw a spell and then just hide behind somebody, which is fun. What are you talking about? Daybreak doesn't hurt anyone. Hey, she puts people in a position where they're all stuck. So she did do damage. She did. She did. She did. We all saw it. We heard it. Okay, I think it works. Right now she's just a target for those night gaunts. Well, if Godwin hadn't completely critically failed his notice roll, he might have not, had the plant just sitting on his shoulder out there. But he was just like, yeah, nothing to fear here. Why would you not go out there? It's fine. There's nothing in the, oh, okay, there's something in the sky. Well, I thought it would be useful, but I'm like, well, okay, that doesn't. The problem with Featherfall is it's weirdly set up in Savage Pathfinder. Unless you're on hold, ready to cast it, it's kind of difficult, because you can cast it on yourself and then it lasts for 5 rounds and then you can do it. So if you know you're going to jump off something, it's a great spell. As a reaction, there are no reactions. So, yeah. And I could have cast it first. And I thought back, I was like, oh, duh, I can cast that as the first action and then shoot the thing as the second action, because technically the Featherfall would last for 5 rounds. And I'm like, oh, next time I'll remember to do that. If somebody's getting carried away by Night Gaunt, Ash feather fall on him, and then laser the thing out of the sky. Grimdark Tychus setting. Casting Revivify comes at the cost of pure souls in the immediate area. Learned that the hard way when the DM played us down to 3 wailing mothers. After her baby's turned to stone-like form, rather dead in Expedition 33. Oh, how nice. That's mean. Poor mother. Hopefully you guys gave her some coins. Or something. You know, whatever is the compensation in a Grimdark setting for babies getting turned to stone. Feed her puns. Don't feed her puns. You already get fed blood and it doesn't help. And hopefully she doesn't become what is that one called? The the bloodthirst. I don't know. The corrupted mum that is the horrifying killer version, the one that thirsts for blood. Hopefully all the blood that's being poured into Daybreak doesn't convert her into that. More confusing. I don't know what's going on in that game. I listened to it, but have no idea. In Strange Eons, you don't know what's going on in that game. It's a crazy, chaotic asylum. I'll give it that. All right, do I need to check on that? What are you doing out there? I'm gonna go look and see what. Did they bring me like another little snake or something? Let me go see. They're playing with something on the ground. I'm gonna go make sure it's nothing, probably nothing dangerous. They probably already killed it. I'll be right back. Ready for chair? Look, chair. Look, pants. Actual human pants. All right. I'm back. It was indeed. It had already dispatched. But I amused myself by getting a handful of blackberries. So, risked mosquitoes for blackberries. So I tossed half a snake out into the grass and got bitten by mosquitoes while I got myself a handful of blackberries. He gave him nothing. Thirsting maw, that's what it was, yep. Been sitting on this pun all day. I don't want to leave. Careful not to make too many puns. I can't help myself. Relaxing. New chair to bring to the table. Wow! People are horrible. Wait, did they already? They already brought the snake back. You dorks. Whatever. They want snake. They want little garden snake. They eat snakes, I eat berries. Fresh berries picked off the vine. Burns, whatever. I feel like I've got a mosquito. They're trying to bite me up here. See any mosquitoes flying around? They'll probably get me when I'm not paying attention. All right, anyway. I thought they might leave the half snake if I tossed it back in the woods, but nope. I think Benji literally saw exactly where I threw it. It was like, what's that? And went and grabbed it. I thought I distracted him. He had some cherries earlier. Nice. You're the real Chrysanth. Got some ice cream at Walmart today. Ooh. Nice. Man, if I had some vanilla ice cream, these berries would be amazing on it. Real Chrysanth. Big Chrysanth is being mean again. Oh, let's see who answers. Who is who? I'm always mean. Big Chrysanth, be nice to Mr. Jeff. Uh-huh. You know what's weird is the other day, remember what the heck I was reading something. I was talking to somebody. What the heck was it? And they were like, they made a joke about something. And I said, oh, that'd be funny. I'm going to find an AI program. I grabbed one of the AI programs and said, make me a picture of this. And the picture it brought back. And I was like, that's not really quite the prompt that I put in. Like, why did they go that route? It was like on the edge of, pin-up-y type stuff. And I'm like, it was supposed to be just a thief doing something. And I'm like, wait a second, let me try a totally different prompt. I'm like, is somebody like throw millions and millions of pictures of weird stuff into these chat programs to try and skew the way they're doing things? I'm like, all right. I mean, normally most of this stuff, and I'm like, I need somebody in a top hat doing this. And they're like, okay. Like I did that jackalope the other day, a snackalope, which was cool. But then a lot of the other stuff after that was just weird. Like they put a bag of cheese puffs in a picture that had absolutely nothing to do with the snackalope. Why are there cheese puffs with these robots? I didn't get it. True, I'm the good twin. I'm the one with the wrench. Wrench, or now wrench. No wrench. I will always be the real Crescent. Epic Mike said so. Epic Mike is wrong. Oh man. There's a war. All right, synonyms, antonyms. I gotta put back in dark mode so I can read what I'm doing here. I like how I put this stuff in dark mode so I can read and I can see what I'm doing, but then an ad will pop up on a site, you know, on the side, a sidebar or something that's just blaringly white, like, oh, I can't see again. Thanks, Thesaurus. AI is garbage. I feel it's worse than the company is letting on. It's weird because I use it for reference when I'm like going to write a scene about something. I'm like, hey, give me a brainwashed picture, you know, kind of a Blade Runner-esque scene of this or something. And sometimes they're like, oh no, we can't do that. You used the trademark name. I'm like, okay, give me something that's a post-apocalyptic or dystopian future, blah, 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 with these things. And you just write it yourself. They're like, okay, here you go. And they'll give me a picture, and I'm like, okay, that's an interesting take, but I like the idea of it being more red. So I'm going to write a scene where there's more red lights and this and change the feeling. And it's just a good springboard. And then I just delete the piece of art because I don't need it for anything. But sometimes I'll try and get a character piece, and it's like, oh, yeah, can't do that, sir. Like, why can't you do a person walking up a hill? I don't understand. Why is that against your terms and conditions? It's a silhouette of a person walking up a hill. I'm like, I have to look at every word and figure out what they don't like. Because somewhere some weirdo is like, oh my god, I'm gonna get my pictures of blah blah blah. My people walking up a hill fetish taken care of, and then somebody's like, oh, somebody's using this to make weird pictures. We better stop making silhouettes of people on hills. Otherwise, somebody's gonna be thinking naughty thoughts out there. Hey, weirdos. Only they could stop the weirdos in Hollywood from putting actresses' feet in scenes. Strange people in Hollywood, I tell you. I tell you. You don't need me to tell you that, though. You know Hollywood's all weirdos. All right, so I want to put another note in here, but I think I'm going to see if there's anything I want to call out about these corrupted ones specifically. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work too well. I think I'm going to put that note in. So one thing I do need to see if Aruda is going to clarify for the mums. He does have a note in there saying that they speak, read, and write trade common, common scent, and mum scent, but they shouldn't speak trade common. They should read and write trade common and speak common scent and mum scent, right? So, trying to think about just how weird Hollywood can be. Oh, not a fan, just creeps me out. Yeah. Yeah, because that, I'm like, well, you know, probably mention that to him. If he's watching, if you're watching a rude eye, make a note. Make a note. Hmm. Some scent can have its own written language, or wouldn't common scent just be common? I mean, common scent is literally just scent and stuff. It's not actually speech. It's the same thing. It's just the subtle. It's the non-subtle conveyances, the larger picture, like probably equivalent to like speaking slowly to a foreigner. You make the scent like, hmm? Let me give you a broad idea of what I'm talking about. Whereas mum scent is more like the subtleties of like, 17th century philosopher, romantic poet speaking to you, as opposed to dude on TikTok. Hey, that guy's upset. As opposed to a diatribe for a minute and a half from someone on how deep their emotions are right now and how upset they are. Something like that. Yeah, Rush Hour, do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? There you go. Yep. I think you figured it out right there. And then mum scent is where you write the Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events. Oh no. Oh no, she's going off on a diatribe. Everybody get ready. You're about to smell poetry. This sounds horrible. But funny. I checked to see if Calvino wanted to come in, but he was more interested in eating the food that I put out instead of the snake. That's what I distracted them with, was a can of wet food. But now all the cats have dispersed. They've eaten the food and walked off. All right, so I got the basics of all the mum factions and people bits and pieces set up here. So we've got the culture, the dress, the traditions, all those fun things. We're gonna put another one of these in here so I don't forget. A few of those in there, so we got them. All right. And I think mum scent is, now that I think about it, mum scent is what they cast spells in, right? They use mum scent. Or is it, I think he said it's considered a spell casting language. I'm trying to remember. I guess I'd have to look in more about that. Oh yeah, it is considered a spell casting language. Yep. I guess they would have to use that to cast a spell. Right? Makes some sense. Haha, sense, not that kind of sense. DNSE. Like that. My fault. Ask about that after you talk to me, hoping Deborah gets the mute hindrance. Okay. Here. I'm not shooting. Chrysanth, I like your note in our chat in Strange Aeons. That's yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to avoid. Uh, all right. So I will open up. okay. That you just know he's gonna do it. Yeah, it's possible that he'll do something crazy like that. Hopefully not. I have to think. Maybe I can come up with something else. We'll see. We'll see. See. Um. Cluster chair. Godwin's strength is a D8. This eccentric, I believe it's. But he also, when he gets a raise on his damage, which is why he does desperate attacks and forego some damage, he gets to roll a D10 his damage instead. So it actually goes up from the normal damage from what the hits can do, and it increases if he keeps increasing that ability. But yeah. D6 and D8 for everything, except notice she doesn't notice anything. My character in Rise of the Rune Lords, Rolf, is the Oracle that doesn't want to lay down. He doesn't want to stop. He has a D12 vigor. And Iron Jaw. And Nerves of Steel. And Improved Nerves of Steel. And something else. Because I wanted him to be like a spellcaster who's pretty good at spellcasting, but not the best. But he also is Rasputin in a way. So. Or Boris the Bullet Dodger from Snatch. He does have combat reflexes as well. No, that or combat reflexes is something that Rolf has, but it's in Godwin's path. Is that thing is from being a part of a monk. If he gets a raise on his attack, he can not only cause stunning fist damage, he gets an increase in the die type for damage. So it's pretty nice. Yep. But I also, since Marashi is a damage or a dual wielding damage dealing crazy person, I switched Rolf away from being a similar version for Monk, which is what I originally intended of just making a damage dealing guy. He is now going to be more like a battlefield manipulator. He's going to have acrobatics and combat acrobatics and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So he's going to be diving in and around the battlefield, causing all kinds of trouble. It'll be entertaining because he's not going to be all about doing the damage. We'll leave that to our other three characters that are really good at dealing damage. Let's see. What was I doing here? And it was like, why is my nose starting to sniffle? Because that coffee is jam-packed with green pepper Cholula. And there's not a lot of coffee left in the cup. I'm right at the bottom of the mug. And I can't help it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to do it. But I'm going to leave some of the little solid pieces in there because that gets a little gross at the bottom of the cup. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes the little bits and pieces that mix with the coffee grounds in the bottom of the cup, not that great tasting. Just weirdly concentrated. I don't know if it merges or does something, but it's not a good kind of bitter. Daryl's going to be a monster. Oh, yeah. Yeah, gunslingers, when they get to hitting their stuff, it's crazy. And I mean, Marashi getting to be able to pick a free feat whenever combat starts is just like, holy cow. That is super amazing. Because, I mean, Frenzy, You choose frenzy or you choose whatever. It's like, okay, you get to double your attacks for free. So that's pretty awesome. And when Daryl starts getting like multi-shot, man, he's gonna be frightening. But I don't know exactly if Caleb is gonna follow the plan that Aruda set up for Daryl, or if he's gonna kind of go his own route. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Right. So anyway, back to what I was looking at here. Of these, I've covered all those. Then I need to put yeah, I'll add it. Yeah, these tadpoles collectively referred to as mums, mainly for their unconventional. Not involved. Yeah, I'll have to add that because he's already got that in the source book. Okay. I thought you said Muravji, looking star now feels special. Did I say Muravji? I didn't think I said Muravji. Did I? Did I? I don't know about that. I just know that Erudite told Caleb Daryl's personality and such, and Caleb was in. Well, the best part is, he was being unconcerned because he's mean. Oh, yeah, there is a mosquito in here. Just flew right by my eye. Get off of me. Trying to bite me. When he was casting his Havoc spell, he was just like, well, sorry, you're in the room. And he just tossed it in there, and Godwin's like, boom, slammed into a wall. Like, okay. It was pretty fun. I liked it. Liked it. This, let's see, note. Okay. Rereading a couple of these entries. Because before I go on to the next thing, I just want to make sure I didn't put anything too outrageous in here. Great and varied race. I don't need to say that twice. Mainly for their unconventional speech. Dress. Depending on the lineage and the profession, they dress much the same as most humans. Small folk would, though their clothing is often crafted in unusual styles with natural materials, such as tunics made of spider silk or boots made from supple treated bark and leaves. Moms follow the simple ethos of the cycle of growth, where things are balanced, things change, things return from whence they came. Constant cycle of making and unmaking they contribute to without unbalancing. Martial readiness. Mums as such have no nation or lands of their own. Whether they adapt and live wherever the world will have them. Colonies and villages do exist here and there in the wildlands, but they tend to stay small and rustic. Ow! Here we go. Cracking my back. Confined to areas where nature is healing and reclaiming the world. Mums will defend these camps and villages to a point. When faced with overwhelming odds, they wisely flee and regroup to build elsewhere. Just stretching out the back of my neck and my arms really quickly. I'm not trying to point my elbows at you. It's rude to elbow point. But take that. Some mums do have an affinity or call to explore. And while this wanderlust often takes them to new lands, it just as often pulls them back to the place they originated, the jungle of Zanatha. Say the cursed. Jungle of Zanatha. Mums seek harmony in all things, and this can often lead them into conflict with expansionist or forward-thinking people who are looking to interrupt or damage natural order in the locale. Woo. No elbow pointing. All the elbow pointing this eccentric. All of the elbow pointing. Mums are comfortable with all sorts of magic, though they tend to avoid necromancy and blood magic as a rule, unless they are corrupted. Yeah, I think that covers basics here. I mean, I could start expounding on all this stuff, but I want to keep this kind of succinct. I mean, it's possible I'm keeping them too succinct, but keep working on it and get to the point where we have to figure out stuff. 5.5 minutes left. All right. All right. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be basically stopping working on stuff here. So next Tuesday I'm gonna keep going with some of this. I'm gonna go into the stuff about gnomes and the dwarves and other groups a little bit more deeply. I did some work on the dwarves off screen earlier and talked about the different types of dwarves. I did some work on the elves off screen earlier. Talked about the different groups of elves. I did a lot of this on screen here, but like I said, I'm going to look at the other groups and make sure that I've got a good coverage. And because I think I need to add anything with the lizard folk. They don't have any sub groups. And I do have to do something for the Soul Forged. So we'll put that here. That. Oh, I guess he only has one type of gnome here. Okay. Possible he'll add more. But right now, just the one. And the small folk. Okay. Do the rest of these notes here. All right. Yes. That's about it. Close this window. I think I'm done with that. So good there. Yeah. So on Tuesday, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be working on more of the same, unless I get some more info from Rude Eye on something else that I need to be kind of focusing on. And I'll finish these up and move on to whatever my next little portion or task is going to be here. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Thank you, Bap. You too. Enjoy. Everybody keep their hands open while they're holding onto firecrackers, please. Don't close your hand over any explosives. Or better yet, don't have the damn things in your hand when they're lit. Maybe that's a good idea. Don't drink too much. Don't get bitten by too many mosquitoes. And try to have a fun time. Safe fun time. And don't drive your boat at high speed over any bodies of water. And if you think you can take that alligator, you're drunk. Don't try it. Yeah, sub to me over on YouTube, losers. Yeah, I mean, you wonderful people. I made your daughter mad at me before the stream started. You did, Cajun Corey. You're good. Don't shoot your guns in the air. Exactly. Yep, I think we're doing that's correct. What Crescent said. I think we're doing a stream. We might just do a slightly shorter stream, later stream. Maybe both. We'll get an announcement out there, let you guys know. No fireworks in the mouth. And don't point fireworks at your brother or sister either. Don't do it. I can't believe that, Agent Corey. He never gets angry. Right. Probably may miss it. Fireworks show in town at 9 p.m. Central. Ah, okay. Have them lit in my mouth? No. Make sure your freedom bird is fully cooked. Freedom bird. All right. Well, you lovely, wonderful, weird people, I am going to make sure that the map is saved. I don't really think I changed anything in the map today, but I'm going to save it anyway. I'm going to make sure my documents are saved. I'm Frost. This has been Frost Written, where I'm working on the lore for the Legend Seeker game. I will be back tomorrow on Moonskull with Strange Eons and the group over there. And then I'll be back with more of this on Tuesday of next week, where we'll be going over more of the cultures and factions of the world of Erudia, especially the Godlands. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. So I will talk to all of you people later. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you later.